We've talked about the machine model, which is helpful because it produces consistent results and consistent output and gives us the idea of direct causation. This is extremely important. I'm going to use another metaphor as we talk, and I'll expand on it later, but I want to highlight it today. There's important parts of our organization that are not just hard outputs, not directly causal, but are correlative, and some parts that are not directly related to movement, but are more related to quality. And so for those, I'll use the vine metaphor. That metaphor works well to explain that we can do things as a leader, but we can't always necessarily control them. We can't control people directly. We can't control weather, the wind, the rain, or acts of God like this. So the faithfulness and fruitfulness metaphor help to explain some of those things. The fruit here points to results, fruits that are output, as in the machine, but also meaning. John 15:5 says, I am the vine, you are the branches. Whoever abides in me and I in him, he it is that bears much fruit. For apart from me, you can do nothing. Jesus here is saying that without him, the fruit will not happen. Fruit here is love for people and those who turn to Jesus and believe in him. A point we can take away is that in every activity, in order to bear fruit, we must remain faithful and connected to the vine to be a faithful leader. We're going to build your vine in a later module, but suffice it to say that there are types of fruit that are direct output and types of fruit that are correlated output and types of fruit that we can't control at all, and there's types of fruit that are related to quality. So let's actually consider this vine metaphor and the metaphor, the machine of a vineyard. There is faithful labor in planting, building the trellis for the vine as you can see in the picture, stewarding the vine and caring for it as it grows into a fruitful plant, watering, preparing the soil. Now consider the fruitfulness, the various types of grapes that are produced, the total yield of grapes. And for a vineyard, grapes may have a massive amount of grapes per surface area of vineyard. Or you might measure yield as the volume of wine produced per vineyard surface area. The reason that's important is in a vineyard, white wine is seen as less sensitive to high yields, and some grape varieties, such as Pinot Noir. The Pinot Noir grape is particularly sensitive to higher yields, and so you have less massive grapes, and you want to have smaller clusters. And so you get actually less Pinot Noir per acre than you in certain situations, because Pinot Noir grapes are grown in cold climates and they can be subject to rot on the vine. And so for a vineyard, if they're going to be as fruitful as they want to be, they have to understand what type of grape that they're growing and what the output is that they're going for. So it is with a good organizational model and machine, a good business model. So let's take a look at how that breaks down for the business model, the organizational model of a vineyard. Okay, there we go. So faithful activity leads to fruitful result. We want to look again at the vision, just as we've done for you, using the model of a vision of I will do X, I will take up X activity so that Y results. For a vineyard, we cultivate grapes, that's the activity, the talent that they're using, so that their Pinot Noir has distinct aromas of cherry, raspberry, and strawberry. This is a particular vision for a particular vineyard that's very particular to the type of grape and wine that they want to produce. The machine here is the winery. The subsystems are the grape cultivation and winemaking, at least in fulfilling the product. Not talking about sales or finance or anything else at this point. We'll focus in on the grape cultivation subsystem. Now, in a vineyard, the grape's tendency in Pinot Noir is to produce tightly packed clusters, and it makes it susceptible to many hazards involving rot that require certain activities to be performed. So we'll take a look at that. here in just a moment. So what activity is going to lead to what fruitful result? You can see in grape cultivation, planting in a cool climate results in a certain target of plants per acre. That's the result and output that they're looking for. Secondly, training onto the trellis, that activity of training results in trained plants, which then gives them the ability to do the next activity, which is manage the canopy. Managing the canopy, including cluster thinning, is an activity that's specific to Pinot Noir grapes, particular to this model, that's more important for this model than it is for others, like a white grape or white wine. And so the result is that managing the canopy results in a cluster of the right size. That is an output. You also have qualitative measures that come from canopy management and cluster thinning, such as great ripeness, sugar and acid quality, while preventing a negative quality, which is rot. And then the activity of harvesting the grapes, and we can measure then the total yield, the total output, in terms of both the yield measures that are important, grapes per acre and wine volume produced per acre. Now what's important here, I want you to notice that the activities are on the left-hand side and the outputs are on the right-hand side. Notice that movement is on the left and quality and quantity are on the right. Those are the results. Yet they are not part of what creates meaningful momentum. The activity, the movement, creates the momentum. The measures on the right measure the quantity and quality of the momentum produced. So on the right, for the results, quantity is output. Output is a specific kind of result which measures the momentum. Quality defines the meaning in relation to the promise delivered.